not just for visitors to come here, but for commerce, for employment, for efficiency in transportation, for ease of transport, which of course will create employment, and of course will increase, their lifespan. Nothing can be more gratifying, nothing can be more fulfilling for a leader when he carries out or implements a project and he sees how well received, how acknowledged, and how appreciative people are.
He added that the reconstruction of the corridor aligns with the state government's resolve to provide durable and motorable roads that will stand the test of time, informing that 26 roads have been completed and ready for commissioning in Abeokuta metropolis. The governor later approved the reconstruction of Agodo Road to Lafenwa in Abeokuta North local government to ease people's movement from Shaje and other parts of the state.
We've made governance seem so easy, so simple. We have lowered the political temperature in Ogun State, and there cannot be meaningful socio-economic development in an atmosphere of heightened political tension. That explains why we continue to be very proactive in our policies, in our reforms, and in our initiatives.
In his welcome address, Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Dea Kisonya, notes that the road had been in a deplorable condition for many years prior to its reconstruction.
Today marks a significant milestone in our commitment to enhancing the infrastructure development of our beloved community.
Chairman of both Abeokuta South and North local government described the governor as a truly modern architect of a new Ogun State.
These roads answer quite a lot of the needs of our people, because these are roads that touches far beyond just the fact that they provide access, but also connect to productivity and prosperity.
The Alakan Paramount of Egbaland, Oba Adedotun Aremubadebo, also appreciates the governor for his developmental strides.
Today, this road that we're commissioning has never been built all the way in one single stretch. It's been patch. In 1998, the last deputy governor also patched this road. But today, it has not just been made, it has been made properly and very strong.
Some community leaders at the event also reflected that the newly reconstructed road would boost commercial activities and further open up the area for increased development. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
Towards providing succor to the teeming workforce of Ogun State in light of the hike in the pump price of fuel in the country and its attendant impact on the cost of transportation and general standard of living, the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dakwa Abiodun, has approved 1 day off duty in a week for workers in the state. This is in addition to the payment of 10,000 naira special transport allowance as palliatives for 3 months, commencing from April 2026. A statement issued by the State Head of Service, Kehinde Onosonya, states that the gesture of government is aimed at further easing the burden on the workforce, who now face increased challenges commuting to work. He noted that the initiative is expected to provide meaningful relief in view of the high cost of fuel, while also enhancing service delivery through a more motivated and energized workforce. The statement explains that workers on essential duties, such as medical personnel, judicial service workers, teaching and non-teaching staff in primary, secondary and tertiary institutions, security personnel, accounting officers, heads of departments in various MDAs, as well as officers receiving special allowances due to additional responsibilities which require their physical presence, are exempted from the day off arrangement, but will benefit from a special transport allowance of 10,000 naira. According to the head of service, arrangements as to the specific day each eligible public servant will observe as the off-duty day shall be determined by the accounting officers of respective MDAs in a manner that ensures that service delivery is not compromised. Mr. Onosonya expresses appreciation to Governor Abiodun for what he calls thoughtful and timely intervention, which he describes as both responsive and necessary under the present circumstances. He notes that the measure, which reflects the commitment of government to the welfare and well-being of its workforce, will bring relief to workers, urging the teaming workforce to reciprocate this gesture by demonstrating renewed dedication, discipline, and improved service delivery in the discharge of their duties. The federal government has concluded plans to introduce vocational studies such as solar installation, e-learning and robotics in primary and secondary schools to deepen technical education in the country. The visitor to the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, Ogun State, now Federal University of Technology Ilaro, and President of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, who said this at the 23rd convocation ceremony of the institution, admitted that time to break the dichotomy between polytechnic and university education is now. Fora Adesonwo reports.
A grand melting point between the gown and the town as the newly upgraded Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, now Federal University of Technology Ilaro, turned out a new set of graduates, the 23rd of its kind.
The newly revised curriculum scheduled to take effect in the 2025-2026 academic session has now reduced the number of subjects to be done in primary and secondary schools to promote deeper learning, mandatory vocational skill learning, and introduction of new vocational subjects.
Notable monarchs in Yoruba land, including the Alake and Promontory of Egba land, Oba Michael Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashid Ladoja, and the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, and his Katsina State counterpart, Umar Urada, became fellows of the institution. The acting Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Ilaro, Dr. Mukai Akinde, celebrated the new upgrade and spoke about the impact of technical education to the development of Nigeria.
Dear graduates, you have acquired knowledge and skills to excel locally and globally, defying limits and providing doubters wrong.
The Pro-Chancellor of the institution was also the chairman of the Governing Council, Garuba Goshua, said there has been significant milestone in the journey of the institution towards growth, academic excellence, and innovation. Some of the distinguished guests agree.
If a woman is not more determined to succeed than a man, she may not likely succeed. Last graduation ceremony they conducted here, they showcased some of the equipments locally manufactured by this institution.
In a lecture delivered by the governor of Katsina State, Dr. Diko Umaru Rada, the need to embrace digital economy was emphasized.
AI is not your enemy. It is your most powerful available colleague. If you are willing to learn to work with it, the jobs threatening are real.
Fadiran Boluwatife Enitan of the Science Laboratory Technology Department emerged the overall HND graduate, while Tijani Boluwatife Oluwaseyi of the Animal Health and Production Technology emerged the best ND graduates.
I want to appreciate my mom. Since I not be easy for her, but I think
A total of 3,067 graduates from the School of Agricultural Science, School of Arts, Design and Printing Technology, School of Mass Communication and Information Technology, School of Engineering, School of Environmental Studies, Management Studies, Pure and Applied Sciences, and Open Distance and Flexible E-Learning graduated at the ceremony. Adefowora Adesonwo, OGTV News.
Similarly, an exercise for prospective principals from among 60 selected vice principals in public secondary schools across Ogun State was held as part of the move to strengthen school administration. The chairman, Tescom Apostle Biodun Sonyaolu, stated that the exercise was computer-based test, CBT, and oral interview held at Baptist Boys High School, Shaje Abeokuta. Olashile Shatunde's report is presented in this package.
Over 60 vice principals selected from secondary schools across Ogun State have participated in oral interview and computer-based tests as part of the move to strengthen school administration. Speaking during the screening exercise at Baptist Boys High School, Shaje Abeokuta, Chairman of the State Teaching Service Commission, TESCOM, Apostle Biodun Soyolu, said the agency was committed to the elevation of its workforce as and when due. Apostle Soyolu also stated that effective school administration was crucial to the standard education system, hence the need for competent principals to coordinate school activities for overall performance. According to him, TESCOM will continue to promote excellence to uplift education system of the present administration, explaining further that the topmost vice principals were selected for the screening as they would remain in acting capacity pending their induction, charging them to be hardworking and diligent while discharging their duties.
We have invited 63 of them, and we are going to pick 40 to 50 depending on their performances in the CBT test and screening. But we want to have a waiting list where when a principal retires, the principal that will take over from him is already there to hand over to him or her properly so that there won't be vacuum. And that's what we are doing.
On his part, the President, All Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, ANCOPS, Ogun State Chapter, Mr. Alaba Olubewesa, appreciated TESCOM for its efforts in achieving better school performance, urging the participants to see the screening exercise as a process to advance them to the apex of their career.
First, I want to thank the TESCOM, starting from the chairman of TESCOM, Apostle Biodun Soyolu, and all the commissioners, including all the directors and every members of TESCOM, for this laudable program of today. You see, some of the principals have retired. We now have vacuum in some schools. And we don't want vacuum to continue like that, because when there's no principal in the school, when there's no head, we are bound to be problem. So we are going to have principals now that will be taking over from those who have retired. That means the school will be in continuity. And what the programs that are supposed to go on in the school will move on smoothly. So it's a laudable assignment, it's a laudable program that we're experiencing today.
Two of the prospective principals in their responses, Mr. Olusegun Adeshiji from Reverend Kuti Memorial Grammar School, Ishapa, Abeokuta, and Mrs. Iyabo Dioguntoyin from Egba Odeda High School, Odeda, commended the state government through TESCOM for the elevation, promising to discharge their duties as expected. The exercise was rounded off as participants were delighted to be part of it.
Moving on to the foreign scene, France and Britain are set to chair a meeting of about 40 countries today, Friday, aimed at signaling to the United States that key allies are prepared to help restore freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz when conditions permit. The initiative comes amid heightened tensions in the strategic waterway, which Iran has largely closed to non-Iranian vessels following the outbreak of U.S.-Israeli airstrikes on February 28. U.S. further escalated the situation earlier this week by imposing a blockade on ships entering or leaving Iranian ports. Newsman has reported U.S. President Donald Trump has urged allied nations to support the enforcement of the blockade, criticizing NATO partners for their reluctance. And moving on to sports, World Athletics has proposed nationality change ahead of the 2028 Olympic Games. The 11 athletes include 5 Kenyans, including former women's marathon world record holder Kozake, 4 Jamaicans, a Nigerian and a Russian. Regis Stoner, who won Olympic men's discus gold for Jamaica in 2024, was also one of the group. World Athletics said allowing the athletes to transfer their nationality would infringe upon and compromise the imperatives underlining the World Athletics eligibility rules and transfer of allegiance regulations. And just before we end the news, let's remind you of the words of Thomas Edison that says genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. That ends Midday News. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.